All right, we're going to look at making a bar chart, and this time we'll put the bars in order from tallest to shortest or shortest to tallest. This new example is titled, How Do 12 to 24-year-olds Learn About New Music? So what sources do Americans aged 12 to 24 years use to keep up to date and learn about music? Among those saying it was important to keep up with music, Arbitrum asked them which of several sources had they ever used. Those percents can be found on a tab titled Music. So if you haven't already, switch over to the Music tab. It's the third tab on my list. And so we have things like AM, FM radio, friends and family, YouTube, Facebook, so a bunch of different options there. And as I look at this, I see the first couple choices are 70% each. So that tells me this adds up to more than 100%, which means that I can't make a pie chart here. So then the question is, why does it add up to more than 100%? And typically when that happens, it means that people fall into more than one category. So maybe you got song recommendations from your friends and from Facebook and from Spotify. Maybe you get new song information from 3 different places. So you would be counted in 3 different categories. Okay, so we have categories that overlap, so a pie chart is not appropriate to use here. So we'll go ahead and use a bar chart. What I'd love for you to do is pause the video for a second, make that bar chart and put the labels on it, and then come back and we'll put these together in order from greatest to least. So go ahead and pause the video. All right, so hopefully you gave that a try and you were able to successfully make a bar chart. If not, I'm going to make one here quick. So I'm going to highlight both the categories and the numbers because this is a categorical variable. I'll go to the insert ribbon. And then just about in the center, I'm looking for that blue, gold, and purple bars. There's my bar chart. And we'll just call this, How Do You Learn About New Music? Okay, and then I'll put the labels on the horizontal axis and the vertical axis. I'll do that through the add a chart element. So axis titles, horizontal, and then back to add a chart element, axis titles, vertical. So we'll just take the titles that were listed for these columns. So this is music source. And this other one is percent used. Okay, so hopefully you got there fairly successfully. All right, and then in order, there's a number of different ways you can put these in order. I'm going to show you one. If you know a different way and it works for you, that's totally fine. But the way I'm going to show you, you want to go back to the home ribbon. Actually going to click off of everything here. So I'm back on the home ribbon, and all the way over on the right-hand side, there's a magnifying glass, but just to the left of the magnifying glass, there's an A to Z and a funnel. So I'm going to look at that, and I see there's a sort A to Z, there's a custom sort, there's some filters. So this looks like this is probably what I'm looking for. So I'm going to highlight my radio and my numbers. So I'm highlighting both of those columns. And I'll go back to sort and filter, and I'm going to choose custom sort. Okay. And this little box pops up, and the first thing I want to do is this sort by. So I click on this and I have 2 choices. Either I'm sorting it by the music source column, or I'm going to sort it by the percent used. So in other words, I could put the music source in alphabetical order, because those are words, or I can take those percents and put them in order of size. So we want to do, let's see, we're supposed to put them in order from greatest to least. So we'll do that percent used. We'll skip the middle box, and then we're going to do largest to smallest. So you should have changed the first one to percent used, the last one to largest to smallest, and then say OK. And now it's reorganized both your list and your graph in order from biggest to smallest. Okay, so it just makes it a little easier to compare things there. And we have one more bar chart to look at. So this last one is called Never on Sunday. Births are not, so when babies are born, as you would think, evenly distributed across the days of the week. So in other words, I would think that it's pretty random when babies are born. So Sunday through Saturday all have an even chance of being selected. That's actually not the case. The average number of babies born on each day of the week in 2012 is found on the spreadsheet tab titled Births. Okay. And we are going to make a bar chart of that. So just to the right, down at the bottom, I have the music tab. So I'll go over to the birth tabs. And it's Sunday through Saturday, and we have those listed. So go ahead and pause the video, make that bar chart, put the title and labels on it. All right, so hopefully you practiced that. I'm going to go ahead and make this quickly. So I'll go over to the insert ribbon. There's the graphs in the middle. So I'll highlight the Sunday through Saturday with the numbers. So categorical variables, we always highlight the categories and the numbers. Put my bar chart on here. We'll call this day of the week, babies are born. So on the classwork, I don't always give you a title. On the homework, it tells you exactly what to title things and then to put your initials on there. So we have that. I'll go ahead and add those axis titles, so a horizontal and a vertical. So from that, add a chart element. So day of the week. And the axis title for the vertical, so the up and down will be the average number of births. Okay. So there is your bar chart. I'm hoping you have something similar. Now, this is really interesting that Monday through Friday are a lot higher and Saturday and Sunday are a lot lower, right? So it's definitely a really curious thing when you're looking at that, and maybe think about why that might be. The reason, my guess, is that a number of women have children through scheduled C-sections, right? So you could have a natural birth, which is just whenever you go into labor. You can schedule it. They can give you medication that helps your labor to start, or you can have a C-section. And some C-sections are emergency and some are planned. And so if I was a doctor and I was scheduling someone ahead of time for a C-section, I probably wouldn't pick the weekend. Right? I would pick Monday through Friday, which is why I think that's my guess. I don't know that for a fact, but that's my guess why we have those higher numbers of babies born on Monday through Friday. All right, there's one more question here. It says, would it be correct to display this data in a pie chart? No, because the variable is quantitative. No, because the percents don't add up to 100. Yes, all categories are represented with no overlap, and so then the percents would add to 100, or yes, the pie chart can be used anytime you want. Well, we definitely have categorical data, so A is out. We don't have percents. So if you tried to add these all up, this isn't going to add up to 100% because they aren't in percents to start with. They're just numbers. And so they're counts is what they are. But we could convert them to percents. We could find the total and convert those to percents. And so then the question is, if we did that, would it add up to 100? The answer to that is yes, because you're only born on one day of the week. Like you can't be born on Tuesday and Wednesday. You're either born on Tuesday or on Wednesdays. These are like mutually exclusive groups. And so that would be the characteristic that would tell me this is a pie chart. Okay. That would tell me that a pie chart's okay. Let's see, and one last thought here. So in the previous example, we reorganized these bars in order from greatest to smallest. We wouldn't want to do that here because there's a natural order to these bars. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right? So it follows the order of the week. So this is not, we wouldn't want to rearrange these. So rearranging the bars is sometimes helpful and sometimes not. So you just kind of have to look at that situation. Generally, if there's a natural order to the bars, though, we just leave it alone. All right, so come back for the next lecture. We'll look at some errors and misleading graphs, as well as some graphs for quantitative variables.